Hello, it's Neurolanis. I've been told by a few people that I've been missed lately. I'm not sure if they're just being nice or if they're serious. But I felt like making a video. I haven't made a lot of videos lately. I've been very busy. I never did get around to commenting on my industrial age video. I had a lot of interesting comments. I knew there would be people who would be very defensive of the system. There always are. But there were more than I thought that were defensive of it. In some points I can argue with, I can debate with, or even agree with, but basically there's no nice way of trying to explain that. I mean, we continue to wipe out the surface of the planet. We continue to put material value ahead of real value. We continue to value the almighty dollar above everything else. And the system just isn't going to last. And on basic principle, I mean, you have to, if not give back more than what you take, at least not take more than what's left at the end of the day. If we can continue draining our natural resources, we will destroy ourselves, as we are dependent upon the earth for survival. If we kill the surface of the planet, we die as a species. The surface of the planet will regrow. The planet itself will not die, but we will be gone. And that's just basic common sense. And I don't know, there's no point in explaining that or arguing that, debating that. It'd be like debating whether or not the sky is purple. It's pointless. All you can say is that the sky is blue, and no, the sky's purple, the sky's purple, the sky's purple. Okay, it's just a waste of my time. I will debate debatable issues, but I'm not going to debate basic common sense. There's just no point. So if people disagree on that, well, you're wrong. I don't know if you're, I don't know what, I don't want to be too mean or too critical here, but I have trouble understanding that. I understand you invest yourself in something like capitalism. You take it personally if someone attacks it, but maybe it's because you don't want to accept the evil that you have become a proud participant in. But of course, we're all involved in one extent or another. I'm not saying that we need a huge revolution or anything. I'm just saying that we need to begin to change our way of thinking and our way of problem solving. There's no one or two perfect solutions. We all just need to think more about this and just being true to yourself and respecting what is truth and what is not. And just taking a look at the world and using basic common sense. So, anyway, there's really nothing more I know what to say about that. In terms of, is this like a world economy collapse issue, a sign that the industrial age is collapsing right now? I still don't know, and I never said that was a fact. I said that was a thought I expressed out loud. And if you watch the video, you'll see that very clearly I was saying it is a question, I wasn't saying it is a fact. And I still don't know either way. But I do know that it will collapse. Because it's too progressive. It's too aggressive. It's too unwise. It's just not going to last. And I maintain that it's just basic common sense. I mean, like, well, duh, right? This isn't great wisdom speaking here. Anyway, I have been thinking about lately why I do this. Why do I make videos? And it has a lot to do with the simple fact that we're all connected. We all want to, you have a need to connect with other people and to express your view and your thoughts, and especially in my case where I'm, the artistic and spiritual type, the need's even greater. Since I have trouble connecting to people normally, I end up having discussions on issues that really don't interest me just to get along. And the subjects that actually do fascinate me, I'm unable to really discuss them with anyone until I go online. Of course, there's lots of forum sites and stuff, but something about putting yourself out there like this, that it just makes you feel so expressed, and makes you feel like you're really a part of the world, and saying what you really think. And people may agree or may disagree, but as long as you're being honest, then what more could be expected of you? To me, honesty is the most important thing. And that's one great thing about YouTube, is that there is a freedom of speech here, and I know about the censorship going on here. But at the same time, for the most part, it's been pretty good. We can get everything out in the open and discuss things, and that's very important. I hate to mention Dr. Phil in a way. I'm not a big fan of his anymore. There was a time when I was actually still trying to watch television in the past where I didn't watch Dr. Phil, but I got fed up after a while. He seems to me treats the symptoms and not the problem, which is a spiritual disconnect. But of course, I mean, if that problem gets addressed, these psychologists wouldn't really be in business anymore, would they? And it all comes down to business and dollars and capitalism. But anyway, he had this thing called Dr. Phil House, where everyone would get together, family or a group of people. One time it was the House of Hatred, I think it was called, and they had people who were racist and sexist and whatever, put all those haters together, and at the end of it they're crying and in tears and holding each other, and you wouldn't have thought it. I mean, I have to admit I was touched. I'm not a big Dr. Phil fan. I really disagree with some of the things he says, but I loved that. I thought that was brilliant. I don't know if it's his idea or not, but whoever came up with it, it was a brilliant idea to get everything out in the open. And I believe in that. I believe in debating. I believe in heated debates. I even believe in heated arguments, as long as it's honest, as long as it gets everything out in the open. However, you know, just cursing and swearing and saying F you, F you, F you, that's not very, doesn't really get you anywhere too fast. But the great thing about that is that someone else can point that out and say, you know, what are you hiding? Why do you're hiding behind all this, all this name calling and stuff, you know? So it makes them feel embarrassed, so then they may stop that. So that's the great thing about freedom of speech, is that eventually the truth will out, so to speak. The truth will become clear, and we can meet somewhere in the middle, and the truth usually is somewhere in the middle. Although sometimes, you know, I may be right, you may be wrong, or the opposite, or the truth may be somewhere in the middle. But we'll never discover it for sure unless we get everything out in the open. And I totally believe in that. And I hate that when I see websites that go down, or forums that go down, or forum topics that go down because it's too heated and people are getting too upset. Man, does that bother me. If it's heated, then it's something that it really needs to come out. You know, it's a subject that really needs to be discussed, and I'm all for discussion. And that's the great thing about YouTube. And the site is in danger. It needs to stop its censorship, and needs to stop. You know, I know that I'm getting a lot more hits per video than what it shows. I've seen that. I've seen with different channels how how many hits they used to get, and how they continue to get more and more subscribers, and how their views go way, way down. And it's BS. I mean, they're not even showing how many views we really get, in my opinion. I mean, they don't even show how many ratings we really get for a couple of days or so. I mean, all this censorship, the lies. I mean, we're customers in the sense that we make money for them because we're here, and people will pay to put their commercials on because of us and because people watch our videos, and so they should treat us with more respect than that. But for the most part, still, YouTube is a pretty good site for expressing yourself and all of that. And so it's exciting to be here and to express and to be part of the discussion. I don't like getting into arguments. That's one thing I like to avoid. Like anyone else, I'm human. I can be temperamental, but I try to avoid that. I try to stick with debates and trying to discuss rather than shout. But it is exciting, and a lot of the subjects are fascinating, and I'm glad to get my own 2 cents in. And I'd highly recommend for anyone who's really interested in YouTube and the discussions to try making a video yourself, or a few videos, and get involved yourself. Anyway, peace.